Hi, Dr. Chris here. I wanted to share with you some information I presented at a health fair recently. The theme was mind-body connection, and they asked me to speak about acupuncture, tai chi, and qigong and how that related to mind-body connection. I wanted to share that with you today, so let's get started. What you're going to learn is how acupuncture, tai chi, and qigong can deepen the mind-body connection for greater health. You'll also learn misleading concepts about curing disease. I'd like to talk about an alternative natural treatment for chronic pain and the number one contributing factor in most health issues. I'd also like to review why treatment outcome is poor without four important fundamentals. And greater mind-body connection requires three important factors, and we're going to discuss that. In regards to acupuncture, some folks just don't know what acupuncture can treat, and I'd like to just point out a few conditions, a few health issues that are very common that people come into the clinic for and experience good results with. So some common conditions treated include chronic pain, such as arthritis, fibromyalgia, and migraines. Stress is a big one. I always say pain and stress are typical things for acupuncture, and they cover a wide range of issues. Also, in addition to stress, we're also talking about other emotional factors like anxiety, depression, um, digestive disorders, leaky gut syndrome. If you don't know what that is, I have some articles on my website that you could search on that talk about how I work with digestive disorders. I also have some food sensitivity and GI stool and saliva testing that I work with to help me to target treatment to help with such digestive disorders. It's very helpful, and it's wide-ranging as far as the effects on the body. Um, if you don't have good gut health, you could have a lot of health issues, and it's something to look into. And allergies and asthma could be tied to gut health. That's why I place those there. I also focus a lot on women's health issues like PMS, menstrual irregularities, menopause, infertility, hormonal imbalances, just in general, male or female, sleep disorders, and weight loss. What can acupuncture cure? This is a question sometimes that comes up, and I think the question has a problem. When you're talking about cures, uh, there's a lot of trouble in raising that question in that particular way because I would argue that many conventional treatments don't cure and often only mask the underlying root cause of the problem. This is what I call Band-Aid approach to medicine. A medicine that requires a lifetime use does not provide a cure. High blood pressure meds, for example. People are on them for the rest of their life, and that's not a cure. That's helping the person. That's alleviating the high blood pressure, but it didn't cure it. It didn't get to the root cause of the problem. Taking insulin for diabetes, type 2 particularly, that's helpful, but it's not a cure. It didn't help the pancreas make more insulin. It didn't help the body to regulate blood sugar levels in a natural way. It's kind of artificially propping up the body. So this is not a cure. And there's a lot of anxiety medications for depression. These aren't getting to the root of the problem. It didn't unravel the condition and get the person back to a kind of a normal feel-good state. It's propping them up with medication for the rest of their life, which can lead to other health issues, troubles with the liver, other side effects. It just goes on and on. So, like many alternative therapies, acupuncture stimulates the body's natural ability to heal. That's how I would talk about acupuncture and how it is used to treat so many different types of health conditions. People ask, how can it treat so many different types? And I simply say that it's not treating and curing the condition, it's trying to stimulate the body's ability to heal, its natural ability. The body has amazing abilities to heal, and they get blocked. The body gets clogged up, loaded with toxins, exhausted from stress, on and on. And so with acupuncture, it can help stimulate the body's natural abilities to heal. Here's something to put things in perspective. A healer is not someone that you go to for healing. A healer is someone that triggers within you your own ability to heal yourself. Now, I love how this turns your perspective inward towards yourself for healing. Now, here's an important point about mind-body connection and how acupuncture applies and encourages mind-body connection. Acupuncture is an alternative and natural treatment for chronic pain, and a lot of people struggle with chronic pain for months and years. And there is a pain threshold theory that I like to share with you on how acupuncture works. Pain is not well understood, even in conventional medicine and through science. There's a lot to still understand about treating pain. So if you look at this picture, you'll see that this person has elbow pain, and it's sending a signal through the nervous system to the spine and up to the midbrain. And the brain is identifying and locating that pain, and then sending a signal back out to the body to try to deal with that pain, to try to heal the pain, to try to bring that pain level down and suppress it. Now, the theory about chronic pain is that the signaling to the brain is low, and it cannot trigger a brain response to suppress the pain and treat the condition. So that's the theory. If you see the image here, there's a flat black line. That's the threshold. And the red line is the pain signal. You get pain, that red line is supposed to jump across that threshold, and that sends a signal to the brain. Sometimes we get some kind of like low-level pain, and it's not really necessary to create a strong response. So the thinking is there's a threshold there, and we need to get the brain involved or the body involved more to heal the pain. We need that signaling to be stronger. Okay, now let's talk about how acupuncture has shown to play a big role in treating chronic pain and how it works. If you look at the bottom left corner under therapy, for this low signaling, we want to jump the threshold. That's the catchphrase there. So what happens when we do an acupuncture treatment? Somebody will tell me that they have back pain, for example, and I'll start thinking about points that I want to use in regards to acupuncture and inserting tiny needles into the body to stimulate the brain, to stimulate the nerves through the spine and the brain to deal with that pain, to promote some healing, to reduce some inflammation, to reduce the pain, for example, to promote more circulation. So when that chronic pain has been around and that signaling has been suppressed, the body's tired inside and is not able to fully function in the best way to deal with that pain. With acupuncture treatment, we provide a stimulation to the body's natural abilities to heal. So needles are inserted, the patient feels like a little gentle sensation. It stimulates the brain. The brain then kicks into gear and starts to initiate these natural healing responses. And that signaling jumps the threshold. You get this natural kind of effect. It's not induced by chemicals. It's simply a stimulation to the nervous system that helps to jump the threshold, increase the signaling to the brain. So in the bottom left corner of the slide here, you see that the black line is being crossed over by the red. showing you that acupuncture during stimulation jumps that threshold, wakes up the body's ability to provide natural healing for chronic pain. Now, what is the number one contributing factor in most health issues? I want you to think about this for a moment. Do you have any idea? Any guesses? Any suggestions? Think about it. What is the number one contributing factor in most health issues? How about stress? Stress is number one. It's something that I see all the time in the clinic. People are so stressed out, physically, mentally, they're very busy, their plate is full, there's so much going on. Stress is a big factor, and I want to talk about stress and define that. Let's define stress. This is my interpretation of how I define stress and how it affects body function. So stress equals chaos, and that equals the mind, the body, and the breath or the breathing not being connected. When the mind, the body, and the breathing are not together on any effort, this will create a disconnect. And remember, mind-body connection is something important, and so this is giving some insight into what mind-body connection means. Think about your mind, think about your body, and also I'm adding a third element. Think about your breathing. Okay? When the mind, the body, and the breath are disconnected, or they are irregular, or not synchronized, this leads to health problems, and it will drain energy. Okay, so think about riding a bike. You're going through life, it's like riding a bike. Which path are you going to choose? Are you going to choose a path that's nice and smooth and consistent? Or are you going to choose a path that's irregular, with lots of ups and downs and turns and potholes in the roads? Okay, here's another analogy of stress and how it leads to chaos and dysfunction in the body. Okay, think about being in a work environment and your mind is very busy. I call it a fiery mind. You have a lot of thoughts, a lot of things going on in the head, and naturally, what you're thinking about should emulate in how your body acts and how your breathing responds. If you look at a child, they're very natural. If they're having a temper tantrum, the body's flailing all over the floor. They're screaming, yelling, and the body's wiggling all over the place, okay? That's natural. All that energy building up inside is trying to get out of the body. But as adults, it's not proper to do that, and I don't recommend it. But when we're in the workplace, we're busy, we're stressed, even at home, home life, or in any stressful situation, the mind is very busy, and we try to maintain our composure. And that requires keeping a little bit of tension in the body. Now, this tension is going to block circulation over time. It's going to make you feel uncomfortable and it's going to overheat the body. You're also constricting your breathing. Okay, the mind is fiery, but the breathing, instead of breathing heavy from all that mental activity, you're trying to shallow breathe or constrict the breathing. And this is not good. Over time, you heat up. It can result into irritability, frustration, even anger. Okay, all this heat building up in the body. So this is chaos. The mind is busy, the body's trying to be still, the breathing's trying to be still. It doesn't connect. Okay, and we need to be aware of this. And all of this drains our energy. Now, instead of stress, which causes chaos in the body, it disconnects the mind, the body, and the breathing. Let's talk about therapies for stress. How can we manage stress? So let's talk about some stress management techniques, things that people could learn for themselves. And just the fact of being aware that you're breathing shallow and just trying to breathe another 20 or 30% deeper throughout the day, just being conscious of that, being conscious of that, That brings you into the moment, that brings you into the now, and it makes you more alive, it makes you more present. So promoting that, that's just a simple tip in what I would call stress management, and bringing some more awareness to how stress can be debilitating. So what we want to do in regards to stress management, it doesn't matter what you do. You may have a meditation you've learned. You may be practicing yoga or tai chi or qigong, for example. Um, but we want to bring the mind, the body, and the breathing together. We want to connect these three things. We want them to work in unison. So what's the therapy for stress? Truly, the root of that therapy should be awareness and practices in prevention to promote harmony, balance, regularity, consistency, and unity, like in uniting the mind, the body, and the breathing. And when you have this unity, everything works in cycles. You know, day into night, the yearly cycles, even breathing in and breathing out is a cycle. And when you have consistency and regularity, here's the key. You build momentum. And one thing leads to another and can lead to greater health. But when you cheat and when say you cheat with your diet, or you stress yourself out a little more, or you take on things that you can't really manage well, and it breaks the momentum. You stay up late and you don't get the sleep that you need. You break that momentum. And when you break the momentum, it takes more to catch up, to get things rolling again. And the more you break the momentum, the more difficult it becomes, and then you are sunk deep into a hole that is difficult to climb out of. And you become reactionary, and you're reacting to health issues and going to, conventional medicine and dealing with prescription drugs and surgeries, which are strong. These are strong interventions where you can be practicing early on prevention by just being aware. Be aware of your breathing. Be aware of your posture. Do you have tension in your shoulders when you're driving? Are they elevated up to your ears? Okay? Is your mind fiery? Can you try to calm that down and think less? Okay? Try to focus on one thing at a time. Try to promote more calmness and more regularity in your life. Okay, so Tai Chi, Qigong, meditation, these are arts in rejuvenation, and they'll build momentum, and they can be therapies for alleviating stress. And acupuncture and herbs, well, those are therapies too to reach out for and try to help manage stress better for greater health. Okay, so now let's talk about symptom chasing. What do I mean by that? Are you symptom chasing? Well, what I mean is that do you know of somebody who's chasing all sorts of signs and symptoms, and they're not getting any resolution from the therapies and medicines that they've been trying? Are you dealing with like headaches and constipation and body aches and pains and can't sleep and digestive problems, and it just seems to be all over the place? Maybe not necessarily all of those symptoms, but there's just some confusion. There's different symptoms, nobody knows what to do. You try different things, it doesn't really help. You take a sleep aid to help you go to sleep, and sure, it may help you. You may not feel restful the next day. It's just not working naturally. It's not encouraging your body to work naturally. So all of these things is what I call symptom chasing. You're not really getting to the root of the problem. You're just kind of chasing symptoms on the surface, branch type issues instead of root type issues. Okay, so instead of symptom chasing, I would say before chasing symptoms, first optimize these four fundamentals for natural health. Diet, and I also include digestion. Number two would be sleep. Three would be exercise, and I would refer to mindful exercises like yoga, but also Tai Chi and Qigong. And number four of the four fundamentals for natural health is stress management. Meditation comes to mind, but you don't have to cross your legs and sit lotus style for hours on end to meditate. There are simple techniques to be aware of that could be like a moving meditation, just like Tai Chi is, or you just kind of walk through your day, breathing a little deeper, being a little more mindful, paying attention to any stress and tension building up in the body. Simple techniques that I teach. So when you have these four principles or fundamentals in practice and they're doing well, your diet is good, you're digesting well, you don't feel funny feelings in your gut like bloating or heartburn, or you have uncomfortable bowel movements, diarrhea, constipation, um, ulcers, okay? And if your sleep is optimal, you get enough sleep for the energy that you need to put out throughout your day. So it could be 7 or 8 hours for an average person, an average day. It could be more. You know, some women who are pregnant, I always recommend 10 hours a night of sleep. Some people going through debilitating health issues and trying to recover, you need more sleep. Okay? Getting less sleep is not going to be helpful. Exercise is important, and as I talked about, stress management. So what we want to do with these fundamentals is increase awareness. Really, that's the factor there. Awareness is a very important thing. Being aware, being in the moment, being in the now. You know, you are going to be more realistic in your judgments about how your day is, how you're feeling, how you can cope with the stress you're dealing with. You can be realistic when you increase your awareness, particularly about these four fundamentals. Okay, and I like to use tools like Tai Chi, Qigong, and meditation to increase this awareness. That's what those practices do. Okay, they help to promote mind-body connection for greater health, a stronger body, increased mental focus. And here's one thing that I would point out, for example, about Tai Chi. One of many little known yet powerful beneficial influences is the simple movement in circles. For example, there are these warm-up exercises that we do for Tai Chi. They're called loosening exercises. Now, these loosening exercises basically focus on all the joints in the body, and you simply create a circle. You move in a circular fashion. Now, some people have arthritis and they can't really move in big circles, so I always say make the circle smaller. And I like to say only go 80% of your ability so you can progress forward and not hurt yourself and give yourself a little room for error and observance. So in other words, if you overdo it, the next day your body tells you through aches and pains, then you can make adjustments. But if you're in the 80%, you're kind of regulating your your abilities to do things so that you don't hurt yourself. But here's the simple observance to realize with these circular movements. When you make a circle, you're trying to make a circle. You're trying to make a good circle. And as you make that circle with a joint, say like your wrist, you may notice in a certain part of that circle, it becomes a little tight or it's painful, okay? And or it's maybe a little flat and you don't have that range of motion. And you may also notice that the other side, when you try to do both wrists at the same time, you feel a little uncoordinated and it's not as smooth. One side might not be as smooth as the other. All of these factors are about being aware of how your body moves and this mind-body connection. And the more you practice, the more you smooth out that circle, the more coordination you have, okay, with the movements, the more you increase your mind-body connection. And it's a simple movements. It's not strenuous. You're not going to be sore the next day. It's about being aware, increasing your mental focus on yourself, on your body, and being aware of how your body moves. I mean, how many times have you walked around and bumped into things because you just were lacking the awareness to know something was there? How many times have you tripped and there was nothing there? Okay? This is about mind-body connection. And these circles are going to promote symmetry in the body, which will lead to more balance, better body alignment with your posture, and better movements, articulate movements that are more graceful instead of stumbling around and feeling kind of clumsy. Okay, so there's a few points on how to deal with symptom chasing and making sure you have four fundamentals for natural health in good order, and utilizing an increase in awareness also to bring a deeper understanding to your health and how your body is doing. I always say the mind is the most dangerous thing in the body. Your Sometimes you just get your body to do things beyond its ability, okay, by pushing it with your mind. And I always say too that you want to look for your health in your body. Okay, your mind will lie to you. It's a little bit of a deception. I think of it as a survival technique. Ask somebody how they're doing, they always say doing great, and they may look like they're falling apart. Okay, and you say that to yourself. I can handle it. I can handle it. I can deal with this. But your body may be falling apart. You're gaining some weight, you can't control it, you're feeling sluggish and tired, you got digestive problems, aches and pains. Look for the truth in your health, the quality of your health, look for that in your body. Okay, I have a question for you. What would be your most important asset? What would you say is your most important asset? This would be something very valuable and necessary, a necessary resource in your life to help you through your day, through your life, to care for your family. Okay, what would you say? Think about it for a moment. How about your health? Wouldn't you agree your health is your most important asset? How are you going to do anything in life if your health is not in good order? If you're not in good shape, you don't feel good, right? And so that is something to nurture and work on a daily basis, learning simple techniques to take care of yourself. You know, we go to school to learn math and English and all these other tools to get us through life. But what about taking care of ourselves? I mean, where do we learn that? In that silly health class. I mean, that may help you not get pregnant or catch a disease, but I mean, we need to go further. We need to go deeper. We need to go way beyond and learning tools and self-care techniques to really help us put us on a good path for health. So, would you say that your health is your most important asset, and are you putting that first, or are you doing for others first, and you get the seconds, right? You get leftovers. And I would say to you, if you're not putting yourself first in regards to health, then how are you going to be there for others when they really need you? What's missing in healthcare today? I put a few bullet points here of things that I feel are missing in managing, in the professional healthcare world, as far as where people go to seek medical attention and address health concerns, whether it be a doctor or a hospital, different types of styles of practice in healthcare. What's missing? And in my opinion, true and early prevention is a key component that I don't see present. In traditional Chinese medicine, there are aspects of early prevention that are just amazing, astounding. We have uh, things in traditional Chinese medicine where if somebody is feeling sad emotionally, emotional imbalances, those emotions are going to have bad influences on certain organs in the body, and then over time may lead to other problems. So I'll give you an example. The lungs, they expand when you inhale. That's the active part of lung function. Okay, in regards to muscles, the lungs expand. When you exhale, it's just a relaxation of muscles. Okay, um, that expanding aspect to the lungs is very important. And a lot of times there are mucus type conditions, respiratory infections and stuff that just dampen the lungs and make things sticky inside and just kind of block the airflow and block the expansion. of the lungs. Okay, now that's understandable with a physical substance, but let's think about emotions. How does sadness affect the lungs? Okay, emotions they kind of stimulate how energy moves in the body. So happiness can be a gentle elevating movement. Anger could be a real rising, strong rising movement. Depression can be kind of a sinking type movement or feeling in the body. Sadness is like that too. It's kind of sinking, it's collapsing. And while the lungs want to expand, that feeling of sadness is collapsing the lungs, okay? And how does the body try to counter that collapsing? This is very interesting. When somebody is sobbing and they're crying, they tend to inhale strongly, okay? There tends to be more of a sucking in sound when they're sobbing, okay, as an example. So why is that? The sadness is compressing or collapsing the lungs, and the lungs are having a hard time opening. And so you use a strong inhale to try to open the lungs up, to try to balance. The body's always trying to seek balance. So this is a simple idea, but if somebody was in a state of sadness a lot, I would start thinking about respiratory imbalances or weaknesses with the lungs. Okay, this is early prevention, and there's tons more. And that's why I would love for people to read a lot of articles on my website because I talk about this stuff, and also contact my office and let's go through an evaluation, a simple evaluation. We don't have to get into any kind of treatment. We can just do an evaluation based on traditional Chinese medicine and see where your weaknesses are and see if there are areas I can point you in regards to self-care, things you can do for yourself to take care of it as a preventative measure. So this is in opposition to being reactionary. The reactionary mindset today is, I'm not going to fix it until it breaks. And that's too late. That's deep into the weeds. When you go get a test to be preventative, like a mammogram, or get your prostate checked, I mean, if they find a lump, you're deep into the weeds, as I say. You're too far. This is not early prevention. This is being reactionary now. So that is a big part of what's missing in healthcare. Also, I would say the idea of being mindful, being aware, and good practices in self-care. And when I hear about people practicing yoga, tai chi, qigong, they're practicing more of a mindful exercise, something they're more aware of, even meditation, right? When I hear somebody's trying to lose weight, so they're jogging on a treadmill and they hate it, so they watch TV or they listen to music while they're jogging on a treadmill, they're not paying attention to their body. They're not integrating the mind and the body. They're just trying to avoid the unpleasantness of trying to jog on a treadmill. That's not mindfulness and that's not awareness. Awareness would be, I'm eating too much, and so I'll try to eat less and lose some weight. I mean, that would be the start of it all. And of course, some people do have some health issues, and it's challenging, and they can't get past it. They can't lose weight no matter what they try. Well, that I would say there's an interior exhaustion, maybe in the endocrine system that produces hormones, and that needs to be addressed in a different way. But we also need to be mindful and understand how that system got exhausted in the first place. Okay, and then another point to make would be promoting natural healing. Uh, Seeking out therapies like acupuncture, but there are other alternative therapies out there like naturopaths practice and chiropractic um, that are trying to stimulate the body's natural abilities to heal. And that is something that I think is really missing. Everybody's reactionary, they're not very mindful, and they're taking prescription drugs and surgeries that are not getting to the root of the problem. That's a big problem. That's just creating lots of other issues that need then have to be addressed. You take this one medication, but then you have to take this other one to counter the effects, the side effects of the first medication. I mean, it's just mindlessness. It's crazy. Okay, now what's needed in healthcare. And the way I see it, what's needed are tools and therapies teaching true prevention, and when needed, therapies that help you get to the root cause of any health issues before they become chronic, debilitating, and difficult to treat, so that you can take control of your health naturally, so that you can feel your best, be pain-free, stay active, participate, and fully be present in all that is important in your life: family, livelihood, spirituality, community, grandchildren, education, children, health, prosperity, and much more. Your health is your most important asset. Okay, so let's go over what you've learned in this presentation. For one, acupuncture, tai chi, and qigong encourages mind-body connection for greater health. Acupuncture stimulates your body's natural abilities to heal. In acupuncture, a natural alternative approach to treating chronic pain, can be used to jump the threshold, as we talked about earlier, and increase the signaling between the body and the brain to relieve pain and restore health. And stress is the #1 contributing factor in most health issues. Stress leads to chaotic function in the body, which can manifest into all sorts of signs and symptoms that can be confusing to understand and treat. And this all could lead to symptom chasing. Okay, you've also learned how health improves and treatment becomes clear or less confusing when fundamentals are healthy. Okay, the 4 fundamentals we talked about are diet, and I include digestion. Not only what you eat, but how you're digesting your food. Okay, you can chew it up well and get it into your stomach, but is it being absorbed into the bloodstream and being processed by the liver and broken down into that raw material to be utilized by the body for function and repair? Okay, so diet and digestion, sleep, exercise, mindful exercise, and stress management, the 4 fundamentals. Okay, so if you're symptom chasing and not finding solutions, make sure you optimize the fundamentals first. Also, stress equals chaos and leads to symptom chasing and dysregulates the mind, the body, and the breathing. You know, in this presentation, I talk about the mind and the body uniting, but in Tai Chi and Qigong, we go further and we try to look for integration between mind, body, and breathing. 3 aspects that are important, okay? We can better manage stress by regulating and uniting mind, body, and breath. And acupuncture, Tai Chi, and Qigong can help. Okay, so as a special offer just for you for attending today's presentation and taking the time out, the valuable time that we're all striving to, or we're all grasping for on a day-to-day basis, I want to give you a little uh, push in the right direction, a little bit of help, a helping hand. If you're interested in some of these things that I've talked about and you want to look a little further in regards to your health and making improvements, take advantage of some of the discounts. Mention this video, give my clinic a call. You'll find contact information along with this video. Check out my website, natureshealing.info. And there's 4 specials that I will offer that you may be interested in, just depending on your interest. So if you're interested in Qigong and learning Qigong, you can check out the online membership program, and you can get $25 off of any of the programs. There's different ones there. You can go to natureshealing.info/program dash overview, or you can just look under the programs link on the website and you'll find the 4 Seasons Qigong program, and you can start looking at that, or you can send me an email or to ask me more questions. I also would like to offer $25 off your first acupuncture treatment. Come in and check it out. See what it's all about. Or you can try your personal holistic wellness plan. This is something I like to put together a wellness plan for people. It can encapsulate a lot of different uh, modalities. So the package could include acupuncture, tai chi, qigong, meditation, diet. We could put you on a diet program or a lifestyle type program or practice, and we put them all together. We create a personalized plan for your needs and your likes. So you could come in, we do an evaluation, and that would be a starting point, and then we'd lay out the program and a timeline, and it would just be tailored to what your interests are. Okay. And also, you can try the Diet Digestion Reboot Program. Again, you can look under the programs link of natureshealing.info to read more about that if you're looking to increase health and improve your diet and your digestion and kind of do a reboot, clean out, detox the body, maybe lose a few pounds. All of that is included. So check that out and let me know if you have any questions. Okay, if you'd like to know a little bit more about any of these programs, you can always call for a free consultation. We can spend a little time on the phone so you can learn more about the programs before you commit to anything. But I'd like to go over your personal holistic wellness plan in a little bit and give you a little more information here. What we would do is together we would design your personal holistic wellness plan. It's individual, it's individualized just for your health needs, and it can include the following depending on your needs and interests. Okay, we can kind of piece it together based on what you need. So it would include a comprehensive holistic health evaluation. We go in detail through your health history. It could include acupuncture treatment or herbal medicines, whole food supplements, supplements that are based on whole foods, not synthetic vitamins. Okay, this is more like real food as opposed to something synthesized that the body doesn't really recognize. It could include a review and tips on how to optimize the four fundamentals: the diet, digestion, sleep, exercise, and stress management. This would be part of a lifestyle consultation. It could include lessons in Tai Chi, Qigong, and stress management, meditation, for example, private lessons in these practices. And there's also access to private online support groups, okay, that go along with these lessons. There could be online learning, like webinars, articles, and videos. All right, so we would piece that together just for you. I'd like to talk about the DDR program. This is what I call the Diet Digestion Reboot, and it includes private online support group. You could, through Facebook, I would have a private group. We could interact that way. Um, what we would do is we'd go through an evaluation of your health. I would go in detail to how the program is going to work. You would have a guidebook, and we would also be able to connect. You would be able to connect with me through a private group online, and you can connect with others who are going through the program. It's very supportive to do it that way. You can hear what other people are experiencing and going through, and tips and suggestions on, say, like recipes and how they're utilizing the program and what they've been experiencing. So it's a support group, and I find it really works well that way. So this is like a 21-day challenge, and it's going to help your body detox, lose weight. You'll feel more energy. It'll help to manage blood sugar levels and reduce inflammation. Okay, this is a 21-day experience that will last a lifetime. Once you experience the benefits, you'll never forget it. You'll be able to connect the dots and know when you're on the right track or when you go off the rails. You can get back on board early to avoid chronic issues that are more difficult to treat. So, when you have the experience of feeling good and changing your diet and knowing you're doing good things for yourself because you can feel it, when you get off track, you'll know it right away, and you won't go too far off track. You'll know you're going to pay for it, and you know you're going to feel terrible. And instead of feeling terrible and having less energy and low blood sugar, crazy blood sugar levels, you're feeling maybe more pain because there's a lot of inflammation in the body, that, and accepting that as a new normal. This is my life. This is how I always feel. I don't really sleep well. This is just how it is. Why accept that when you can when you can feel better, and when you have that experience of feeling better? Who wants to go back, right? So when you have that experience, and that's what this 21-day challenge is going to give you, then you'll stay on track more so. And I think that is the key to success. Okay, I'd like to give you a little introduction to my website and how to navigate. So if you go to natureshealing.info, you'll find a lot of free resources there. Okay, I have some ebooks and I have some reports that I've written on some topics that I think are helpful. They'll point you in the right direction and get you kind of motivated and started on some of these natural principles that I talk about in self-care. Okay, so one of the ebooks is called Natural Healing for Optimal Health, and it'll help you understand what you need to do to take charge of your health in a natural way. And then there's another ebook that I call Seven Emotions, and it's a guide to emotional balance. So if that's an area you want to work on, you want to look at that guide, it's going to translate emotions into energy patterns very simply. And then when you have that kind of idea, there's an elevation of emotions in the body, you can then think, well, I need to settle that elevation, okay? Instead of thinking about emotion, you're thinking about energy patterns. It's a whole different way to approach it. And you'll find that right on the website, the kind of white bar, there's some links there, kind of right in the middle. You'll find these resources under a link that's called Health Matters. And off to the right on this slide, I have a special report on statistics and facts on smoking cessation and acupuncture. If you're looking to stop smoking, that's kind of a beginning there. You can download that report. Also below that, there is a report that's called Top 10 Reasons to Try Acupuncture. So if you've never tried acupuncture and you want a little more information before getting into it, try that report and see if it helps. Okay, and if you have any questions, you can always just contact me through the contact page, and or through Facebook, or other means where I'm connected through the media, and you can ask your questions and fire away, and I'd be glad to answer them. So if you're looking for a way to connect with me online, Facebook is a great forum. I have a Facebook page there. You can look for it. It's facebook.com/acupuncture RI for Rhode Island. I have a clinic in Coventry, Rhode Island. But you can connect with me through Facebook, like the page, you can make comments, share with other people, invite other people to like the page and follow along. I'm always putting out there some quotes of inspiration, some help tips, and I make event announcements like Tai Chi and Qigong classes and other types of focuses in regards to like meditation and self-care tips. I'll put notices out there. And you can go to my website too and subscribe to the newsletter. On the previous slide, I had the website address, but you can look to subscribe to the newsletter. Just enter your email really anywhere. There's when you enter for those reports, you'll automatically get placed onto the newsletter email list, and you can unsubscribe anytime. Okay, and I don't abuse people's emails. I hate spam. I'm sure you do. I don't sell people's emails or anything like that. If you're interested in what I do and you want to follow along, I keep your email private because I appreciate your interest in the things that I do. Okay, so I would like to thank you so much for listening to this webinar, taking the time out of your day to check in. This could be a step for you in the right direction if you're just beginning to think about what can I do for my health. And maybe there's some tools here that you can utilize and help you to take control of your health naturally. So until next time, take care. I wish you the best in health.